Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you some recipes I'm using with this smoked brisket my husband smoked over the weekend. First, I'm going to show you the barbecue sauce that I made. You're just going to toss in the butter and onion and cook it up for a couple minutes. And then just throw in everything else and let it simmer for about 5. And then after that, let it sit for maybe 10 minutes or so. And then it'll be really nice and thick like this. It was delicious. It was our first time doing homemade and we loved it. And these are the sides I made the first night. I just threw in some potatoes in the oven and roasted them with asparagus for about 45 minutes. And it was delicious. The next night I made smoked brisket enchiladas. You're gonna I use about 10 tortillas and it wasn't enough. You'll see that at the end. But you always want to warm them up in a skillet because it'll keep them from breaking when you go to roll them up. It's a very important step, which like I said, you'll see why. And then I just tossed in about 3 cups of cubed brisket. A can of diced green chilies, and I accidentally got the hot ones, so pay attention to that because my kids would not eat it due to it being too spicy. My husband and I loved it, but our kids can be kind of sensitive to that. Let it simmer for about 5 minutes or so. And while that was simmering, I was mixing up the sauce I was going to pour on it. I mixed up about 2 cups of Red Enchilada Sauce and a cup of the homemade barbecue from the day before. As you can see, it the butter hardened on top. And then I'm going to just start rolling the enchiladas up into the pan. Just spooning a little bit into each one. At this point, I had realized that I underestimated how many tortillas I was going to need, so I grabbed a couple that I hadn't warmed up, and they completely tore apart and looked like crap, but that's why you warm them up, so a good example. And then I'm going to just start pouring the enchilada sauce mixture, enchilada barbecue sauce mixture, over the top. And then my cheese mixture is pepper jack and Colby jack mixed together. You can use really whatever cheese you want. Our family loves Colby jack, so I feel like I use that a whole lot. And then you're going to stick them in the oven. That's preheated to 350 for about 25 minutes. And they come out looking like this. They were really good. My husband and I enjoyed them. Like I said, they were too spicy for the kids. And then I topped them with dried cilantro because my cilantro plant that I had growing is struggling. So if anybody has any tips on growing cilantro indoors, I'd love to hear about it because mine is not looking so good. I thought it would be a whole lot easier, but it is not. Next, I'm going to be making the smoked brisket chili in my slow cooker / pressure cooker. I'm just going to start by using the brown saute mode and throwing in a little bit of oil and onions and just letting them cook up for a couple minutes or so. Once they're looking a little bit browned or translucent a little, toss in whatever your idea of garlic in a recipe is, because I just kind of add a spoonful no matter what it calls for. Then I'm going to toss in about 3 cups of cubed brisket. Just kind of stir it up a little bit. And then you're going to toss in your seasoning mix of chili powder, cumin, a little bit of chipotle seasoning, and smoked paprika, and stir it and get the meat nice and covered really good and let it saute up for a second. And once you've let the seasonings get a little bit toasted, you're going to pour in either a 12-ounce beer of your choice or a cup of red wine. I just happen to have wine on hand and no beer, so that's what I used. For me, I felt like it made it pretty rich in flavor. Then you're going to let it just cook the alcohol off. I think it simmered for about 5 minutes or something like that. I just waited until it didn't smell so strongly of alcohol, and then it felt like it was done. And it reduced down just a little bit too, so you can kind of tell. And then once it's ready, you're going to add in a 1/4 cup of coffee. You can just use what's left over from breakfast, or I brewed another cup. And then a can of diced green chilies. These were not hot this time, although that would be pretty good. A 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. And then a 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes. And I rinsed off half a can of kidney beans and black beans. Although next time I think I might add them all. I like a lot of beans in my chili, but that was a good amount. I didn't have any bacon on hand either, so I keep these around just in case. And it was good. Just kind of poured some in there. Didn't measure, obviously. Then just stir it up really good and get everything nice and covered. I slow cooked mine. Well, I put the time at 4 hours, but I turned it off at about 3.5. And this was the result. It turned out really good. I've never used brisket and chili, never even thought about it, honestly. But the meat chunks were really tender. slow cooking in that all day, especially tender, I guess I should say. And the whole family loved this too. You can top it with chips if you wanted. I just use cheese and sour cream because that's just a favorite of our family on any kind of chili. And that's it. Those are my recipes I made using leftover brisket. For both a hit. If you ever wanted to try them, they're good uses for all that brisket that's usually left over. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and like it for me and subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting recipes weekly.